Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Class 8. How are you all? I hope you all are enjoying the weather. You have seen the change, which is of course natural and a desirable one, isn't it? So today we will proceed on with the revision of physical and chemical changes. So what is a natural change? What is nature? All the environment which is around us, including the climatic changes, including the changes in the fauna and fauna, everything that is natural, that is not governed by the human being but is under the control, totally under the control or in the hands of Allah Ta'ala, that is, it is in the control of nature. So we can say the changes that occur naturally and are beyond the control of human beings are called natural changes. So, and as compared to it, we have the human-made changes, that is, so changes that occur due to human efforts or activities are called human-made changes. There are so many examples in front of us, that is the weaving of cloth, the making of food, or making of a sweater. So many examples are there, isn't it? So we have the natural and man-made or human-made changes. I have already told you that changes which are brought about by nature itself are called natural changes, and these changes are beyond the control of man, not in the hands of man. For example, the change of season, the tides in the sea, which are then the aging of plants, that is getting older, then landslides, right? So these are examples of the natural changes, and the changes which are brought about by man are due to the man's activity. These changes are under the control of man, right? Like the burning of fuels, cutting of nails, switching off an electric fan. These are examples of man-made changes. Then we have the slow and fast changes, that is the changes that take a longer time to complete are called slow changes, and the changes which take place in many hours, days, months or years, that is they take a much longer period to complete. For example, seedling grows into a tree in many years, and there are many such examples. Then we have changes that take shorter time to complete are called fast changes, that is they take place within seconds or minutes. There are so many such changes. The burning of anything, be it a paper or a matchstick, or the beating of heart, then the lightning of an electric bulb, or burning of a piece of paper, bursting of an inflated balloon, or example of slow and fast changes. Is it clear? Then desirable and undesirable changes. The word itself, that are desirable for mankind or beneficial or desirable to mankind or humankind, that is they are of use to us, they are beneficial to us, and such are called desirable changes. And the reverse of it, that is the changes which are harmful to us, to the humankind or mankind, and we don't want them to take place, they are called undesirable changes. So the changes at times can be desirable as well as undesirable, so it depends on the aspect. For example, the rainfall, at times it is desirable for farmers, but at the time of harvesting it is undesirable, that is when the time comes to reap the harvest then, or reap the crop, then it is very undesirable for the farmers. You can see this, that changes which benefit us, whereas there are others which harm us, so they are desirable as well as undesirable changes. A desirable change, I have already told, is one that has some good benefits, and an undesirable change on the other hand is bad for us, is harmful for us. For example, milk turning to curd is a desirable change because it's a useful thing for us. But when we keep it in a refrigerator, we keep it outside the refrigerator during hot days, it turns bad. Is that clear? So that is undesirable. Similarly, for the farmers, I told you it is desirable, and for people whose construction is going on, it might be undesirable for them. There are so many other examples. So other examples of undesirable changes are, one I have told you is spoiling of the food also, apart from the milk. Then forest fire, flooding, occurrence of earthquake. Then the desirable ones are decay of cow dung, and then forming manure from it, then formation of curd from milk, cooking of food, drying of clothes, and ripening of fruits. Is that clear? It's a desirable change. Then we have the periodic and non-periodic changes, right? So that is the changes that repeat at fixed interval of time are called periodic changes. For example, you have seen the daily occurrence of day and night, sunset and sunrise, then waxing and waning of moon. You have seen the size increasing, and then the size decreasing also. Is that clear? So that is waxing and waning. And then high and low tides and swinging of pendulum of a clock. These are periodic changes, that is, they repeat at fixed interval of time. Well, on the other hand, the non-periodic changes, they do not repeat. The occurrence is uncertain. For example, the occurrence of landslide or eruption of volcanoes, coughing, thunder, and lightning. All these are non-periodic changes. Is it clear? So let's see some of the pictures. Periodic changes are events that repeat themselves after a certain amount of time and whose occurrence can be predicted. We know when are they going to happen. For example, the Earth's rotation, then Earth's revolution around the Sun, then the occurrence of day and night, or even the occurrence of seasons. We know when do we have summer, winter, monsoons, right? These are all periodic. While on the other hand, non-periodic changes, they do not repeat themselves at regular intervals of time. That is why they are called as non-periodic. No period is specified. Natural disasters such as earthquakes, cyclones, volcanic eruption are some occurrences that do not occur at regular intervals, right? These are non-periodic changes. Even the sneezing and car breakdown are not. Then we have the physical and chemical changes. That all the changes that we had studied till now are broadly classified as the physical and chemical changes. So physical change, that is the change in which only the physical properties of a substance change and no new substance is formed, is called a physical change. A change in which only the physical properties like the size, shape, state, right, are changed and not the chemical properties. So a substance does not form any new substance. It is called a physical change. So for example, the different changes, like for the simplest example, we have the melting of water, then melting of wax, cutting of fruits, evaporation, sublimation. These are all physical changes, right? These are the physical changes. And then what are the characteristics of the physical changes? That is, there is only the change in the size, shape and state occurs, that no new substance is formed. Only the physical properties change, temporary and generally reversible. It is temporarily and generally reversible. Then no change in chemical composition, and generally there is no change in energy. There is no change in energy. Is it clear? So we have the characteristic, that is no new substance is formed, only physical properties change, temporary and generally reversible, no change in chemical composition, generally no change in energy, that is no energy change takes place. Then the chemical changes, that is a change in which the chemical composition and properties of a substance change and one or more new substances are formed. Is that clear? It is a change in which the chemical composition, that is the for instance, I had explained about the reaction that takes place between iron and sulfur. Then iron sulfide is formed. Both iron sulfur solid and iron sulfide formed is has a different color and changes into liquid on heating. So these are all, that is, the change becomes permanent. One or new substances are formed. Then physical and chemical properties, these are the characteristics of a chemical change. Physical and chemical properties change, that is, each and everything changes in a chemical change. It is permanent, it cannot be reversed back, it is irreversible. Generally there is change in chemical composition. Is that clear? And change in energy also takes place. For example, when you burn a paper, what happens? It changes into ash, and burning, that means you are heating it, you are supplying heat. Is a form of energy, you are supplying heat, changing into light and heat, and it's converted into ash. So these are the characteristics of a chemical change. Is it clear? So you can see the physical changes in a substance that does not involve in a change in the identity of chemical makeup of that substance. That whatever it is made up of does not change. If it is made up of, for example, peanuts are changing into peanut butter on grinding, it will still be, ingredients will be containing peanut only, the peanut butter only, the state is changing. It is changing from a solid into butter form. Is that clear? Then on folding a paper, it changes into a paper airplane if we are making one. And then if copper is changing into copper wire, that is, for example, you have studied metals and non-metals, the property of ductility. This property of a metal to change into wires is ductility. Is that clear? Then similarly we have the other changes as well in the other metals. And then here ice, that is H2O, is changing, it is on melting, it is changing into water, which is a liquid. That water is also H2O only, it is nothing else. So you can see that H2O on melting changes to H2O only. So it is a physical change, only the change in the state can be seen, size and shape can be seen. So all changes in state of matter are physical changes. You can see the size, state, that is the state are changing. Is that clear? That the state of matter are physical changing from one form to the chemical change does not occur. That is, there is no formation of a new substance. Is that clear? There is no change in the chemical composition and properties of a substance. You can see that in the grinding process of peanuts, or in the ductility, that is changing of copper to copper wire, ice into water, or paper into the airplane, and the chemical changes. A change in a substance that involves a change in the identity or chemical makeup or chemical composition of that substance are known as the chemical changes. For example, sugar on fermentation changes into alcohol. That is, sugar when subjected to anaerobic respiration, anaerobic process, that results in the formation of alcohol. Is that clear? Iron nail, by the process of oxidation, that is when exposed to moist air, that is known as oxidation, that iron combines with oxygen that is present in the air. In the presence of moisture, it becomes rusted, that is a reddish brown coat called rust gets deposited on iron. This is irreversible change. Logs of wood, when what is combustion? That is burning process in the presence of oxygen. You can see they form light and heat, both are being generated in the combustion process, and the wood changes into ash. Is that clear? Electrolysis is decomposition of a compound in its molten or in the liquid form or aqueous form. Decomposition means breaking up, and by the passage of electric current, this is electrolysis, and that means water has split up into hydrogen and oxygen. By no physical means water can be split up into hydrogen and oxygen. Only a chemical process, that is electrolysis, can change it into hydrogen and oxygen. So you can see that all chemical changes are accompanied by a physical change. There is change in the properties and state, everything gets changed. As with that you can see, the wood does not remain in the form of solid, it changes into the ash powder. And water does not remain in the form of the liquid, that changes into gases that can be collected in these jars. Iron does not remain in that form. So sugar changes into alcohol. Is that clear? So these are accompanied by a physical change. Is it clear? So you have the various examples in which you have to write whether it is a chemical change or a physical change. For example, condensing of water vapor. What is it? What is condensation process? The change of, on cooling, what happens? The water vapor changes back into the liquid form. This is known as, this is a physical change. In combustion of gasoline, gasoline is a fuel, and burning it releases carbon dioxide in the air. Exactly, it's a chemical process or chemical change, sorry. Then turning water into hydrogen and oxygen gas, again I had already shown it to you. This is what? A chemical process. Again, a chemical process, right? And souring of milk, that is when you keep it in high temperatures in the summer days, especially, the milk turns bad, it sours. That is also an irreversible process, that is a chemical change. Sublimation of dry ice. Sublimation, I have told you, is changing of a solid directly into the gaseous form without the intermediate liquid form, and it is a reversible change. This is a physical change. Is it clear? Then turning of copper into wire, it is just the change of state, change of size. Is that clear? So it is a physical change. And fermentation of sugar into alcohol is what type of a change? Again, it is a chemical change. Then evaporating water, what type of a change is it? Yes, fermentation of sugar into alcohol is a chemical change. Evaporation is what? Changing of liquid into vapor. This is the, again, a physical change. Is it clear? And then let's see this table, the difference between the physical and the chemical changes. We've already studied, that is, chemical changes cannot be easily reversed, while the physical changes can be easily reversed. Is that clear? Then no new products. Now this not reversed and reversible. You have already the easiest example of melting of ice into water, and then the freezing of water into ice, right? Then new products are formed in the chemical changes. For example, the reaction between or the best example is when you heat wood or paper. That is the reaction of wood or paper with oxygen. That is the burning process, which will take place in the presence of oxygen, and ash is produced along with heat and light, while there are no new products formed in the case of physical change. For example, what happens when you switch on the bulb? Then you can see the heat and light being evolved, but when you switch it off, there are no new products formed. It changes into the same transparent bulb, no light is being emitted. Then reactants are used up at the end of a chemical reaction, and in the case of physical change, often just a state change. For example, the melting of ice, then the freezing of water. You can just see the change there. Water is still there, but here the reactants are used up. For example, when you are burning the paper, or when you are reacting the iron and sulfur, the reactants get used up. Then often heat, light, sound, fizzing occurs. This I have already told you. Burning of paper, burning of wood, and or when you add water to lime, you can see that is heat or light is being evolved. And then same here, electricity may be also produced in some cases. For example, when you are using the electrolysis of water, or you are using the small cells in torches or in other apparatus like instruments, or the daily gadgets like remote control, you have cells inside. What are they doing? They are helping you to play the programs that are there, or switch on the bulb that is in the torch. That is because of the cells which are present, and that is the small amount of electricity which has been produced in the cells because of a chemical change. Is it clear? So these are the differences between the physical and the chemical change. The physical or chemical change, that is burning of a candle. You can see a burning candle, and because of the burning, the wax is melting, and this liquid wax solidifies again when you blow up the candle. So we can say that melting of candle wax is a physical change, right? On the other hand, this liquid wax changes into wax vapor and burns to produce carbon dioxide and water vapor. It also produces heat and light. It is a chemical change. So I have told you that how this burning of candle is a simultaneous physical and chemical change. So revise the whole chapter. I will give you the date of the assessment shortly along with the assignment. Keep on revising and completing all the pending work. The dates of the unit test will be given very shortly. Allah Hafiz.